The Nasarawa state government has distributed relief materials worth millions of naira to 18 TV communities following the displacement of some TV inhabitants in the wake of the farmers' herdsmen crisis in January 2018. Governor Tanko Almakura, while distributing the material in Lafia, the capital of the state, said the gesture was a collaborative effort with the federal government. TVC News correspondent Godwin Hagwam has a story.
Since January 2018, Tea people in the southern part of Nasarawa state have been displaced as a result of farmers' herdsmen clashes in neighboring Benue state. This prompted Vice President Yemi Osibanjo and Governor Tanko Almakura to visit the affected communities and assure them of government's intervention. The promise was fulfilled when the state government assembled chief stakeholders to hand over the relief materials to the affected 18 communities.
It has taken a little time for us to distribute these materials because the people were displaced, and we do not want to make these distributions when people are just hanging around within townships, and at the end of the day those that have decided to go back to the villages would go with empty stomach. So we waited until our community-based conflict resolution committees have settled all scores in all the areas affected, and I'm very happy to say that virtually most of the villages that have been deserted have now had their people back in their areas, and this time we feel is the most appropriate time to distribute some of these relief materials. Not only food items, but including building materials. In addition, also, the federal government is supporting these communities with prototype residential apartments, little houses, especially in the areas that have been intensively destroyed. Nasarawa State is also helping in another way to ensure that those in the hinterland have access to their homestead by deploying the Rural Road Development Agency to get the roads cleared and ensure easy access to various destinations.
Why we ask them to come is to get 544 of them from each village, and each vehicle here belongs to a village. So 4 of them will enter the vehicle and will follow it to the village to ensure that nothing is stolen in between the way. Whether there is security inside, whether I am inside the vehicle or I'm represented by my staff, or whether any other person is inside, they must follow the vehicles themselves and ensure that the vehicles get to the villages.
The government also made 500,000 naira cash donations to each of them. The representative of the TIF community assured that the relief materials would be distributed evenly.
A plan already. We've drawn from the affected local governments, I think about 5 of them, people that are going to represent those local governments. We've drawn about 3 or 4 from each ward of these local governments. So ensure that these materials are well distributed and they get to the beneficiaries without diversion.
The beneficiaries are from 18 TIF communities in the 5 local government areas of the southern zone of the state. Godwin Hagwam, TVC News, Lafia, Nasarawa State.